Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and this is...
Autumn Garibay.
And this is...
Logan Garibay.
And this is...
Tala Garibay.
And we're not the Van Trapp family. All right, big news! Logan, what's the big news today?
Bernie suspended his campaign.
Tala, what do you think of that?
I think that, it was like he was telling us something, with his campaign, and then he basically just put a turn on, all of that, what he believes, because as a heart attack didn't and keep him from running, but losing does.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a fascinating take. What do you think, Autumn?
Yeah, so I think that this confirms something we said previously about other people who have suspended their campaign. He said that he is suspending his campaign. However, a lot of the things around what he was saying is essentially that he has lost and he quits. And that is, so from what I've seen, he is recognizing that he is 300 delegates behind in Joe Biden, which doesn't seem like that much.
Yeah, there's 1,900 left. It's
or
17 or 1,800 left. There's a lot. Biden is fully catchable, but go ahead.
Right. And yeah, I think that this was definitely discouraged. So I, as a younger person, do not support Bernie Sanders. However, I know a lot of people who do, and they are very discouraged by this because exactly what Tala said. He seemed like the one of the most resilient ones, and he has proven that wrong.
Yeah, actually, I have to jump in on that one and echo what you're saying. My heart really, I want to just say I have a lot of sympathy right now, and I really want to say my condolences to everybody who supported Bernie. We have absolutely been in the I've been in the situation where I'm like, hey, what happened? I was so distraught when Andrew Yang dropped out, and so I know there are real Bernie supporters. My condolences to you. I'm going to give a quick Bernie story. So I was in a Starbucks, and I think it was in January, and he saw my math hat, and this young man, he was like 25, 30 years old. Probably from where I was at, he was probably a lawyer because it's a Starbucks near a literally like a courthouse, and he dressed like a lawyer. He looked like a lawyer, and he was very passionate, and we had a great conversation. I could tell he really genuinely supported Bernie and really cared about him, and I think there were millions of people who really, really dug what Bernie was putting down. And so my condolences to you guys out there. Logan, you gave us the news, but you didn't give us your thoughts. What do you think?
So personally, what I think, this is kind of like a picture into the future, but I think, I'm just going to give my opinion on why I believe he quit. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Hit it.
And
yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought it was kind of interesting where this was kind of a mirror of 2016, where, wasn't he, the top candidate?
He ran in 2016, and that's exactly right. He battled it out with Hillary and only gave up when Hillary, and actually, there was a lot of shenanigans. A lot of people thought that the Democrats did him wrong, and I don't think they were that wrong. So yes, that's exactly right.
I think the reason why he might have gotten less traction is he's a great candidate. Other than all the socialism stuff that gives him a big problem, he's a solid candidate. He's really good at speaking. He has good charisma, all that stuff that Dad says, or a little bit less of it. But the socialism thing really hurt him, I think. Yeah,
without a doubt.
I think. So I think if he was a traditional candidate, he might have been past Biden.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Let's go right off of that. That is a fantastic point. I want to go right down the line. Tala, if Bernie had never slapped that socialism sticker on his forehead 30 years ago, do you think he could have been our president?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, definitely, because especially from, what he said, and, he's, like Logan said, he's a very good talker, and it seems like right now, age, all of our candidates right now are really old,
Yeah.
So, like, age doesn't matter. But I think, like, if he didn't have that socialism, he would be able to go on, because he's definitely more of a noble candidate.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I want to kick off of... Actually, I don't want to... What do you think?
Yeah, so... No, actually, I do not believe that without socialism, Bernie Sanders would be able to be our nominee and then president. Because if he were a traditional candidate, we have plenty of those. I think
point.
that.
Great
So I believe that he would have lost to Biden or whatever other person did traditionalism better. So while it would have been, I think Bernie minus the socialism, honestly, I think that comprises a lot of, or at least factors into a lot of his beliefs. So to take that away, takes away a lot of other things he stood for and makes him as bland as a lot of other candidates we've seen.
Actually, I love your point that you brought up. Go ahead.
I want to add another thing. I think this is like kind of shifting gears, but what I really think is, like, Biden right now, he's not that special, like, really. So, like, even if he's just
True that.
even if Bernie didn't have socialism and he wasn't that really special, he'd still be better than our top candidate. Literally, in my opinion, Biden is literally like a Thomas Tank Engine, like everybody knows him. They're like, hey, it's Thomas the Tank Engine on fire. Like, yeah. So, that's my opinion.
Biden is like Thomas the Tank Engine on fire. Oh my gosh, you have surpassed all of my analogies. So well done.
I will say, on this topic, I think Bernie without socialism is Biden. I agree. And
Yes.
basically, it's very similar because they're old. They kind of have similar viewpoints, and like without the socialism, and they kind of like because of their oldness. Sometimes they forget a few things, and like both of them have made little slip ups. So,
Real quick, wait. You have brought honor to the Garibay name. Corona high five. Don't touch. There you go. All right. Yeah, great point. Go ahead. Did you have some? I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Because this is a great point, right? Could Bernie win if he hadn't been a socialist? This is a great question. So here's my take. I think it's a deep topic. So one, I like Bernie a lot more than Biden. The one thing I loved a lot of things about Bernie. So, in fact, socialism was the only thing I didn't like about him. Like, actually, I loved his curmudgeon style. Like, so here's the dictionary, here's curmudgeon, and here's Bernie's picture, right?
Yeah.
So he was iconically a curmudgeon. I love that about him. I do think it was a serious problem with him as far as being a candidate. Yes, Tyler.
may you define curmudgeon?
Yes, a curmudgeon is someone. I'm pretty sure the definition is like old stodgy grump. Like that's it, right? And boy, oh boy, was Bernie a curmudgeon? Like his picture was next to it in the dictionary. Come on, like he defined curmudgeon, right? So, but I kind of dug that because I have a little bit of I'm spiced with curmudgeon. So basically, it's not the main entree, but there's some spice on there. So I loved his curmudgeon style. I do think it hurt him politically, because people don't like grump as your like he had resting grump face. He really did. And so that was a problem. That was a serious problem. But he was super intelligent. He was dedicated. He was in it, right? He was all in it. He really cared about the people he was trying to serve. That was super, super genuine. I don't think anybody could question Bernie's sincerity. Okay, his commitment. Oh my gosh, Bernie Sanders has completely redefined commitment for American politics for 100 years. He had a heart attack. He was back at it a week later, right? Not only did he redefine commitment for American politics, let's put it this way, right? Biden bowed out in 2016, and people were like, "Oh, did you have a life event? That was tough. Oh, we all understand." That ain't gonna fly no more. Like, if you're a politician and you're like, "I'm having a rough time. I had a life event," people are like, "Bernie had a heart attack and was back at it a week later. What's your problem, right? Like, get back." And honestly, I really think he did it so hard, we may have a problem at the American level in that the get back to your desk thing. Like, that, I think that could be a lasting effect from Bernie. Like, Bernie showed that you can have a heart attack and you can get directly right back to work immediately, right? Like, and I mean, we go hard in America, but Bernie upped the ante on like all American labor, like for 100 years. I think there will be books written. I know for a fact, there will be books written about the Bernie heart attack, back at the desk a week later, hitting it. You cannot question that. So honestly, I think if he had never slapped that socialism label on, I think Bernie would have been president in 2016, and our world would be massively different. That was a great point. So what other things I got a million things to talk about, but go right ahead.
So I would like to also pose a question in that what happens now in the race post Bernie? Does Biden win by default?
I could talk about that, right? Okay, so one, I'll let you guys talk if you have something first. Good?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So
yeah, here it is. Okay. All right, we have about 17 or 1,800 delegates left, okay? If Joe Biden remains healthy, and that is on two fronts, physically and mentally, right? He needs to show people that his cognitive loss that he is displaying is a temporary flustered, I'm in the middle of an election fluster, and not, oh my gosh, I'm losing cognitive ability because I'm 79 years old, and sometimes that's attached to age. He needs to show people that, right? And that's a big thing. So if he can keep his health until the convention. The convention, I think, is right now, it's in July. There are already requests to push it back to August. The Republicans already have theirs in August, right? So if he can just stay healthy until July, then he will become the nominee at the convention 99%. There could be something crazy that happens at the convention, but it's unlikely. Now, there's also reality. What you just heard, in my opinion, is an absolute pipe dream. I completely agree with you. Joe Biden is on fire. He is showing signs of cognitive loss. We don't know if that's cognitive loss, I'm stressed, I'm strained, blah, 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 or is this cognitive loss connected to age? It is a growing concern at the national level for the media, for the party, for voters. I think it's a point of laughter for the Republicans. And I have to say it, I think Trump looks sharper than Biden. That's a problem, right? Because Trump is a freaking predator, right? And if there's going to be any kind of a debate or anything like that, Trump will like stick and jab and hook him right and left. He will wreck him in a debate. So the debate could be an issue, but he should win if he remains healthy. If he can show physical and mental health and hold on to the nomination, he should be 99% lock to be the Democrat candidate to run against Trump starting in July, okay, from the convention. Then between July and November, he would go against Trump in the general. Trump will beg him for multiple debates. He will almost certainly refuse those debate requests because he can't make it through an interview with friendly interviewers right now without 5 different gaffes. Trump will beat him about the political head and neck with his political fists and tear him politically to shreds if they let Biden into a debate with Trump. I don't think the Democrats can even allow it because Trump will utterly destroy him, right? Because literally Biden, you could find news articles every day right now saying Biden can't make it through a single interview with friendly interviewers. So all that's where we're at. What do you guys think of that based on where we are at now? What are your thoughts? We'll go right down the line. Tala?
Yeah, so I definitely think because of this because of like just Biden being like almost a lock in for the Democratic nominee, that this gives an opportunity for the resurgence to actually change what all of this is gonna look like, and see like, Biden he might not be able to even get through to beat Trump, let alone actually be our president.
Oh, right. And I forgot this. He needs to survive Corona, which is a major issue because he's in the most susceptible group other than babies, I think. Go ahead.
This is really bad. Like, really, really bad. If the Democrats are just saying, "Oh, he was with Obama. Okay, let's just put him
Obama's
in
VP,
there,"
right? Yeah.
and he cannot get through a speech, and has
bad.
like literally one of the worst abilities. Like, you need to talk. Like, that's
Right.
like one of the major parts of politics, and he basically cannot do it.
Yeah,
that is
it's
a major problem. And if they're picking him as their top candidate, that's ridiculous. Now, I know I've said a lot of things in the past about, like, resurgence suck. Now, I'm kind of changing my mind. Like, this is really bad.
Yeah, we need resurgence. Yeah, absolutely. Before we go to you, I'm going to throw in Presumptive. They're already calling him the Presumptive nominee, pre-assuming he will be the nominee. Mm-hmm. So his current title is the Presumptive nominee.
Biden?
Biden, from the media. The media dons him as it's already started today. They're saying he is the Presumptive nominee.
Right.
And this assumes the suspenders don't unsuspend. This assumes Andrew Yang doesn't unsuspend tomorrow and just come in and say, "Oh, hey, what's it look like if a candidate for president could finish an interview? Wouldn't that be delightful?" Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that what would typically happen is all of these candidates are suspending their campaign and endorsing Biden. All these dominoes are falling until one's left standing. I think that in this 316 era with the coronavirus, and that it'll go a step further. All these dominoes are being knocked down until there will be none left standing, including Biden. If I were to make any predictions, I think at that point, the floodgates will open and we'll have resurgence. But that includes Andrew Yang, and now I think it'll include Bernie Sanders.
Oh no, you mean Bernie would unsuspend?
Yes, he is in the same camp as every other candidate who has stepped back and backed Biden. And save one of them. And I do agree with Tala. I think that in their eyes, age does not matter. So whatever takes Biden down, I don't think that Sanders considers himself in the same boat as Biden, because now he literally isn't. He wasn't a day ago, but he is now in the same camp as Yang and Gabbard and Warren and all of the other candidates that have fallen.
The other thing I will tell you right now, I'm going to give you a prediction right now. It's going to, and this is more than a prediction. I know this is going to happen. It's already started. They're going to wrap him in bubble tape already. One, they're not going to put anybody in front of him. He is going to remove every single campaigning task he can. He needs to just, and I think the Blue Power base probably went to every single candidate and said, "This is our play. Get out of the way. And we need to let him rest because he desperately needs rest because he's flubbing half the interviews. We need to get him collected. We need to make sure there's no strain or stress on him." As crazy as that sounds, because it's no way to pick a president, but they are going to put him behind walls of every type. Okay, one, he's not going to be seeing people anymore. They're gonna lock him down, lock him away, and I will tell you right now, you are going to see less interviews from him, less interaction with people, and honestly, I think Biden at this point, he's literally just a placeholder, right? He's like, this is, and honestly, he's just a placeholder. And also, he was doing this before already. He didn't go on Joe Rogan. He does not go on any interview where every question isn't controlled by him. He doesn't go on to long form interviews. He can barely complete interviews that are 20-minute long. He doesn't go on long form. He doesn't go on opposition. Like Pete Buttigieg went on Fox News. Bernie went on Fox News, right? He doesn't go on any opposition interviews, and they are going to, and the Blue Power base is going to treat him with more kid gloves than you have ever seen. His campaigning is essentially over, and they're just going to try to grease the slide so that he can slide into the convention because he is brittle, fragile, broken, useless, done. Right? He is the worst candidate I think we've ever put up. The Dems have ever put up, and he literally doesn't even want the job. He turned down the opportunity to do this with incumbency in 2016, and at this point, I kind of feel he's trapped. I don't even think he wants to do it now. He just realizes there's so much momentum behind him. He has to. I'll give you guys last notes. Any last notes? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that Biden definitely. I think Biden right now is just he's blue. That's all he is.
Yeah.
As
right.
He
yeah.
isn't someone. They just don't want Trump back in, and that's why they have Bernie, and they were able to propel him just by name recognition, but not by any of what he says.
Great point. Quick, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to add a little bit of the resurgent thing. If there was any time for there to be resurgence, it would be right now.
Amen, brother. What do you got?
Yeah. This is, and can be discouraging, but I think that we've seen it before in 2016. Honestly, I think we'll see it again come the next election. Despite this, I do think Sanders still has the definitely the stamp of like resilient, even a little less so now. But I think he was a good candidate, and this was a good discussion. What are your last thoughts?
I think we capped it. All of that is our opinion. We want to thank you for letting us share it with you. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.